Well, hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Iron Panther Presents. This afternoon, we shall be discussing Reasonable Doubt as we talk about season 2, episode 4. Jamani's not right with us right now, but he actually said he enjoyed this episode. I look forward to understanding how he would say that. But Kim and I are going to talk about it. Get into something. Why is Lawrence Fishburne behind me? We'll get into that. You know why Jay-Z behind me? Everything's named after Jay-Z. Anyway, we'll talk about the Ike Turner situation in the room. But anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to this channel. Like on the video, comment on the video, share the video. We want to be more than a power channel. Power's doing very well for us. But anyway, sit back, enjoy the intro, and then we'll start the show.
Oh, wait. I got to do it now. Wait. This is going to be funny. Wait. You ready? I got to do it.
This is awesome. This is amazing. I love it.
It was psychological. It was emotional.
Extremely entertaining.
But as always, as we try to say here, as we said, if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. And as we talk about this video, please like on the video and comment on the video, and we will get back to you as soon as possible.
Yes, happy Sunday afternoon. You could be watching football like my wife is right now. Really gets on my nerves, to be real. Or you could be discussing TV. That's what I'd really be doing. But anyway, and Kim apparently, that's why she's here. What's us doing? Kim, welcome. What would you like to begin in this episode?
Well, I guess we can begin in the beginning, right? Where I think she was having a nightmare in prison.
Chanel was in prison after trying to skip bail. And now she had a vision. She had some kind of dream of how she killed JT as he was trying to assault her. Is how we start.
And for me, it didn't make sense because his head was not smashed in. So the visual was she's smashing, right? Constant. So we would have seen, they probably wouldn't even have shown us his head, right?
Okay, all right. He was not as head mangled as we see in real life. So how in the world did she keep on hitting him like that? Right, his head would have been gone. I mean, for sure.
Yeah. So I mean, because our brain is not, eventually,
it will cave in.
It's going to cave in, right? Exactly. Yeah. So for the picture that we've been seeing of JT, no, that's not what it was. But like you said, it's more so what she wanted to do, but she did not do. Right? She was fantasizing basically in a dream, right? So, that was, the whole thing is, to me, this episode was really sad, right? Because we saw the abuse that she actually went through, right? And she had her own little revelation. I mean, we could talk about that later, but when she was being interviewed, I think that some stuff it clicked for her also while she was talking to the interviewer. Which that whole thing was a mess. I'm like, what is happening? Why did you bang this woman? Like, what is wrong with you? Like,
well, so again, I want to separate said banging of Tanya, is her name. We actually got her name this episode from the interview, but Chanel's story, but her revelation, and then what we see at the end, which is what really happened.
Yes.
As we discussed last week, if you watch our last video, we did speculate that likely we don't know the true story. Someone probably actually saved Chanel from JT, actually did the killing, because all we see is her holding the murder weapon as JT is crawling along the thing. And there was so much distance and everything. It's like someone did that. And why did it take 2 hours for her to call? Like, all that should kind of compute that someone else did it, and they were trying to come up with a story of what can we do now that he's dead and that sort of thing. And we don't know officially who did it. I mean, our Jax's prediction based on the financial stuff is that Adrian did it. And we are kind of maybe led to believe that, which is kind of what we thought about last week. But officially we don't know. But like her, to your point, the abuse. Okay, so this starts off with a big warning of like, you're about to see abuse of an intimate partner.
Yes.
Like they were kind of prepping you like for the whole episode.
Right.
And I have to say, until the final scene of JT trying to kill her, right, as she's trying to leave, I was like, because similar to the sexual abuse that Jax went through with the stepdad, and even you were like, yeah, you got to commit because I'm not seeing it like to what you're trying to tell me, right? So that was my problem. That was my problem with the most of the episode, was that the first abuse was him grabbing her wrist and then like pushing her a little bit, and she like hits the wall.
Yeah.
And then
No, David. That even though it seems small, that is the beginning of it. It happens, and sometimes it actually happens. To me, what they were also showing is that the mental abuse had started before that, and then she ended up marrying him, and then he escalated to pushing her, grabbing her wrist, and then pushing her. And then once that happens, then it escalates to something more than that.
But I understand that but I'm saying up until that point, that's the only thing we saw. Is my point. Like, you saw bruises on her. Is what I'm saying. Like, when she went to the party, she had sex with Brian in the bathroom. Adrian in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then they jumped to bruises on her face. And I'm like, okay, like,
and he told you, and then he was like apologizing,
and then I'm like, where's the, like, why am I seeing her having sex again? Like, show me the abuse. Like, show me how we get to the escalation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying, so I wanted, like, I'm sorry to say, like, so I wanted to see the abuse. Like, I don't need to see her having sex with Adrian again. Like, Brian, keep calling Brian. Like I get that. Like this is supposed to be him, like you said, systematically getting worse, right? Has all these pictures. They keep on showing you the pictures that Sally took, right? What happened that time? Like, show us how we got to the pictures, because even in the final confrontation, she mentions the pictures. Like, I have evidence, right? Show us that. Show us how we went from a shove to what.
But I think it's going to continue. This whole case is going to be based around abuse. It just is. And so they're giving you snippets of it, but I really believe they're going to continue to show snippets of what she went through. So maybe they didn't show it in this episode, but they will show more, because that's what this whole case is going to be based on.
If this was more of a law show, I would believe you. like, because remember last year with the murder, it like they actually spent very little time on who killed that poor woman and that kind of thing. I think this. So I hope that does happen. I'm saying, because the POTUS is brought up like 2 or 3 times. This would have been an episode to do it, because they're trying to show you the origin story. So her montage of the abuse of he got my hair done. He proposed to me, and like that's what we see.
But again. It wasn't. But if you really pay attention to the scene, it's not he got my hair done. It's the hairdresser is in the back of the scene, and she's talking on the phone, and she's looking at Chanel, right? Chanel.
Yeah, Chanel.
She's looking at her. Sorry, she's looking at her, and Chanel is thinking, is she talking about me to JT? Which does happen. If a person is trying to control you, they're gonna try to keep you in the world, make the world smaller and smaller and smaller. And that, I think that's what they were trying to show, that the manipulation is starting, right? He's started very slowly, but it started. And she was like, she's looking back on it like, what was that? Why was she looking at me as she's on the phone? And it's like, yeah, he could have sent you to that particular hairdresser because he wants that hairdresser to tell him, what is she saying about me? Is she saying things about me? You know, that kind of thing. Control, and also controlling her look, what she needs to look like. And that's why she said, I'm not putting that wig on. When Jax came to her and said, the wigs.
Yeah.
She said, I'm not playing that anymore. I'm not doing that. And that was because JT liked her hair like that. He liked all the wigs and fake hair and all that stuff.
It could have been done better. Like, she's guessing. And when she's talking to Tanya, she's guessing. She's like, what abuse did she's like, well, maybe this was this. And maybe
it's a reflection, though. It's still a reflection. I mean, David, it's you just have to
I'm
have.
not Kim. I'm not arguing it doesn't happen. I'm saying it's not that hard to go. Forget the hairdresser, baby. Put this on tonight. We've seen this in Power. We saw Ghost do it. You know what I'm saying? You wear this. No, you will put this on, and I will come back, and you're gonna change.
But I think these things are going to. They're going to show more of it. I don't think this is it. That's what I'm trying to say to you. I believe that this whole case is hinged on, especially now that that they've had this interview with her. That now it's going to become that. That's what this case is going to be about.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm like I just feel like they missed the mark again with the emotional manipulation, right? I don't want you to be my girlfriend anymore. Let me propose to you. Like, all right, so we got some emotional like manipulation, and I'll give you that. You know what I'm saying? But like, I just feel like they missed, especially when you see the bruises. You missed opportunity. Like when Tanya's question was, how did you hide this abuse for so long? That was her question. And they showed her the cover of the magazine. Like, was this all a lie? And then they go to the scene at the party, and this is where we see Adrian again. And we're like, hey, okay, they're at the party. And again, the scene is, well, he's abusing me, so now I'm sleeping with his mentee. I'm like, this don't go together. And I'm like, and again, if we would have been like, he abused me when I got home because he thought I was doing something, and then you see the bruises, and then you get, oh, I'm on drugs, and they're also we're trying to give that there's a reason, right? Like, I'm on medication, like, it's not my fault, I'm in pain, like, I'm weak and I need you, that kind of shit. Like, they were trying to give him that abuser backstory where like you can understand why she thinks this shit's okay. Like, they did a good job of that.
Why she justified that his behavior, right?
Right. And it's like, and I get that. But again, as we talked about season 1, they have totally rewritten this backstory and these characters completely. Because I was so mad that I went back to season 1 because I'm like, this bullshit that she was this strong boss woman that had a job, and they met at a photo shoot, and we don't actually know her role at the photo shoot, but she's the boss, and he pursued her and wooed her, and she was vulnerable and that kind of stuff. That is not what happened in season 1. Like, I was like, no. Episode 5 in season 1, they tell you the story that they were at Sally's, it was 2007, and they were at Sally's bachelorette party, and Chanel is texting JT, and she's like, I met a football player. What, girl? You met a football player? Uh-huh. And he wants to take me to Miami. Like, she was the girl on the side who found a baller, and she's gonna ride this out. That's who she was in season 1. And they're changing the story from that. And I'm like, you don't have to. She can still be a victim, even if she said this man is my stepping stone to financial freedom. That doesn't make her less of a victim. But that's who she was, and like. But now they're trying to change the story up, and I'm like, for what? You don't think we watched it? Like, I watched season 1, so I'm like, what? I'm like, you cannot just rewrite these characters. Even when you go to the class reunion, they went to the high school class reunion, and that's when he left her. That he was gonna leave her, right? Because he's like, you using me to get status, and she was, because that's who she was in season 1. And he's like, well, you can walk your ass home. She's like, no, JT, I can't. That's who she was. That's not the character that's trying to show us now, and that really with that. But again, so who do you think did it? Who do you think actually killed you?
I think it might possibly. It could. For me, I feel like it could be one of the children. It could be Sally. I mean, you just because of the way Sally was so adamant. Now, I understand that's her cousin, right? And they're supposedly like sisters or whatever. But I mean, it still could be like, it's my fault. I actually killed him. This is why I'm begging you to to mortgage our house, right? Yeah. Could be, right? Or like I said, it could be one of the children. I mean, it's a little, probably, I'm thinking about how small the children are. Maybe that didn't happen, but I'm just saying it could be Sally. It could be Sally, or it could be Adrian, like you said. I'm hoping it's not Adrian, only because that's so
obvious.
obvious. And I'm
At
like,
this point.
don't give me obvious. I need, because by the way, I know this is completely different, but I watched The Perfect Couple on Netflix. The second episode, I knew who did it. I was so mad. I was like, why are they creating these shows where you can immediately figure it out? You know what I mean? I want variety. I want to, think about it and talk about it so that, to come to a conclusion. Yeah. But okay. So that's what I'm saying. I'm hoping it's like Sally or something like that. And that's another thing. We haven't seen Sally and her husband.
Adrian,
and I want to see them.
Adrian. Well,
I want to see Sally and her husband because this is not done. I mean,
yeah, you're right. Let's get back to you put our house up for her bail, and then and now you know about the 30 million. And you're right. So again, that's why I'm saying this is Chanel's episode, right? But I hope we do get back to Sally and her husband because that was a whole situation, right? Yep. So to your point of like backstories, now we're finding out that JT's, I guess, older daughter is not even Chanel's kid.
Yeah.
Right now we got a whole other baby mama we're just finding out about. And I'm like, because you would think Chanel wasn't the first victim, right? Like you would think he probably abused the baby mama.
It all depends. No. Men do not always abuse each and every woman that they're with. They pick and choose which ones they can do that to. Because there's some women that are like, wait a minute. Okay, but the first time you pick up on the mental, right? Then second, as soon as they start like shoving you, pushing you, grabbing you, some women are like, wait, hold on. I'm done. Because before it even starts. And then other women, they just they have enough respect for them, or they really like that woman where they won't do it. But then there's other women who they're like, oh, I can clearly beat her up and she'll still stay with me. Yeah.
Well, so even to this being point, I'm saying as Daniel was looking into his past, that never came up. Let's talk to the baby mama. Let's talk to her because maybe there's something there, maybe there isn't, right? What I'm saying, but like if this was a credible, consistent storyline, that would have been witness number one, right? Like, did he do it to? Yes, but I don't want to talk about it because he said in this episode, like, oh, I got problems with her, right? It's her, like she's the reason why I didn't marry her. So they're all setting it up like, well, that's the story that Chanel heard about the first lady, but maybe that's not true and that kind of thing, right? Like what? So it just. And
well,
then
I'm hoping that they bring her into the courtroom. That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking maybe they will bring her into the courtroom to testify about the relationship she had with JT.
So that would be interesting if it comes up. So I hope again they kind of bring that back. Dallas. So another thing that just totally got left off. Dallas got arrested last week because he was on probation. He had a warrant. He had a warrant out for his arrest. He should have got arrested with fake passports for Chanel and Brian.
Yeah.
So that should have been a conversation. Like we should be like, oh my Adrian. Like it should be Dallas is snitching because like he ain't trying to go to jail for another felony. So he's like, hey, he just said Adrian should have got arrested. Like if Chanel is in jail, Adrian should be in jail because they were both preparing to flee the country. You know what I'm saying? And that's where they should be right now. How do we suppress Dallas's testimony? What does he know? Like that kind of thing. Like if they were taking this more of a serious like legal show, that's a big plot. That's a big problem out there that just again this kind of disappeared. But I
have a question. Okay, so the manager who used to be JT's manager became Adrian's manager, and then Adrian owed him $30 million or something. I was like, what? Like, why would you owe him $30 million? What? For what?
I don't.
Is it a secret? I mean, what is happening right now?
What's happening? But then back it up. That means that Adrian's plan was to steal all of Chanel's money.
All of it. I'm like, not even leave her 1 million.
1 penny. Hey baby, you go to Mexico and I'll send you your money.
Yeah.
No. Like I just got it. I'm like, so the fact that she was willing to commit so much to Adrian, like she was about to go on the run. She's like, I at least need to be with you. I gotta feel like she was a part of something. maybe she didn't kill JT, but she was a part of the cover. He was a part of the cover up or something. She feels like she owes him something.
And she's in love with him, I believe. I think
So,
she's in a weakened state, right? But I mean, she's been abused, and all these different things, right? And this man is showing her all this affection, and they're having sex and all that. All the emotions are high, right? So she thinks she's in love with him. It's probably just lust, and also because she feels like she is he's not trying to hurt her, right? She trusts him, so that's why she's clinging to him a little bit more, right? But there has to be. I don't understand what the connection really is with this manager. Why would he? I kind of felt for a second when he was talking to Adrian. I was like, "Are you gay?" Because the manager seemed to be gay because he just seemed. Didn't he seem a little?
Well, these are two different things. I hear you.
He was like Adrian.
Effeminate.
Yeah,
I will agree. He seemed a little bit effeminate, especially when he pulled out his little gangster pose and tried to point a gun at him. I'm like, you're not intimidating by no means. And someone owes you $30 million, you don't go, I'm gonna shoot you. Like, you break something at this point. Like, I don't even understand how you're even scary to anyone.
Right.
So they need to flush this out. They do need to flush this out, because this came out of nowhere, and I'm like, why does this matter? Like, why am I seeing this when again there's other like substantive things that should be going on with the trial that we need to be getting into? Again, Dallas being one of them. Again, it's Sally, like you said, what's going on with Sally and her husband, because it makes a lot more sense, especially now Sally's the one that took the photos.
Yeah,
it makes she knew. Like no one else.
She knew what was going on. She knew about the abuse. She knew about all of it. So we need to see Sally, and also too, we need to see Sally's husband filing for divorce or something
immediately.
That was huge.
Immediately. But if it goes down to, again, I'm the one that killed the guy, so so she feels even more committed because this is actually her fault, right?
Yep.
Then why do I have to do Daniel's job? Then you check her phone records. Who did she actually call and when? She called Sally first, right? Then she called Adrian. Then she called the cops. Then she called Jax. Then she called, like, you can see that. Like, no one's like, let me see what's going on that cell phone. So we can be like, oh, crap. Okay, so Sally was called first, or texting or something. He's doing, I'm about to leave him. The whole conversation of she tried to leave before and she was going to go and come put her stuff in our house. Like, Sally had this plan. So maybe she texted her like, baby, this is it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm about to leave. And then that's why Sally came over to help her go. And then she has to kill JT.
Right.
So now it's all coming. That makes sense, right? Now we're seeing the family connection, why Sally's so committed, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Because again, go back to season 1, y'all. Jack said, because there's in episode 4, Chanel is telling Jax that she needs to work it out with Lewis, and then Jax tells Sally, who is this girl to be talking shit, trying to give me advice when JT's running around, cheating on her. So everybody knew about the cheating in season 1 because that was the problem. And now they're trying to throw in this domestic abuse thing, to kind of give it a new storyline
that nobody knew about, right? Nobody except for Sally, except for Sally,
but that's
Jax and Chanel were not like bosom buddies. They just weren't. That Jax had a little, animosity towards, what is
Chanel?
Chanel, yes, she had some animosity to it. I mean, you could tell, like the way that they, conducted themselves. Hey, how you doing, girl? That kind of thing. The hug, the fake hug,
But again, as we said, like again, they're trying to make a new storyline, so they're just they're flushing out. They're coming up with new stuff to try to make it thing. So we got to see how that goes to the interview. So Tanya Snuggins or something like that, like that's the name. They at least brought the booty call back, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, I was happy with that because, like, who was this woman? But we still didn't need to see.
I thought she worked in the office. I truly did. I was like, oh, she's a secretary or something. But okay, she's bigger than that, right?
She's a reporter, and she's like, I'm gonna do this interview for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so so the sex scene was unnecessary for what happened in this episode. Like it did not change the fact of like, hey, I'm doing this interview for you, and then she finds out about the abortion and that kind of thing.
Right.
And then the whole tension of like, I've talked to this woman who's gone under, domestic violence, and I'm not gonna be with you anymore because I want better for myself. And I'm like, I'm not sure how. All right, I was like, I'm not sure how you connect this shit, but let's bye. And then Jax calls him a nigga. Like, why we at nigga for this? Like, I don't like this.
But that is her word. She's been saying it since season 1.
No, I mean, black folks say it. The nigga only makes sense if you're fucking Corey. If you think you got something going on with him, and then you find out there's another woman, and he brought that other woman to your situation, right? Even for a professional, that's when it makes sense. Like, you're like, oh, you trying to get with me, and you got this bitch? Fuck you. Like, I'm like, that's a different thing, and that would make sense to me. But like, what are we doing? Like, we're co-worker. What? This goes to the hug of last week and Corey was like, oh, I guess this is so, like, they're gonna be fucked. What's gonna make this even more stupid is she does give up the draws before the season's over, and I'm gonna be like, this was you
I
playing.
hope not, because that's just gonna complicate stuff, right? With her and her husband, and then with Corey and her, right? And the case, just let's not do that, right? Let's not.
But I'm like, I get she's
1 second. I'm sorry, I gotta get my dog. Sorry.
Okay. Kim has dog issues she has to address. But anyway, what else I can say by myself? I don't know. I need the show to do better. I need the show to do better. Also, I'm gonna tell Kim. I'll wait for that when she comes back.
Okay,
all
sorry.
Right. You good?
Yeah, she's old and she can't jump, so I got to put her on the couch. Okay, anywho. Yeah.
But anyway, so again, unnecessary, right? Like, so and again, this makes Jax look even more dumb when she gives up the draws, and I feel like that's where they're going.
And also, too, what got me is when she stopped the interview, right? And for me, I felt like you should have let her continue. Let her continue with how she's feeling. Show emotion, because that's what we're looking for. We need her to show emotion as far as her husband being dead, right? Or whatever she's feeling at the moment. We need that, because that's how people will show her empathy and sympathy. They'll be like, oh, look at her. Oh, she's crying now. You know what I mean? Why are you stopping her from crying? Or you're stopping her when it gets hard? No, she needs to be prepared for that, because guess what? In court, they're going to ask her the hard questions if she takes the stand, right?
So this is where Jemani, I believe, will likely say that if the defense is self-defense, that's their theory, and now she's done the interview, she has to take this. And there he is. Perry Mason is here. What's up, Jemani?
How's it going?
Hey,
all right. So, from your legal opinion, the interview, did that leave Chanel open to having to take the stance? And now she's opened it up to what he did to me and how I felt in her state of mind at the time of murder. Is it admissible in the trial once the trial starts?
Well, you always have the right, not, Fifth Amendment right not to testify. So doing an interview doesn't negate that fact.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so was it not prejudicial to the jury? The whole thing, when they say we want to move to a new venue because media coverage may poison the jury to against the client. Like, isn't this not like trying to persuade the future jury by doing this? Like, shouldn't the prosecution said no to that?
Okay, I'll put it to you this way: the prosecutor is looking to make her bones on this case. Why would she give the case away to another county or district to try it?
But I'm saying, does the interview hurt the prosecutor, and therefore, because it might gain sympathy among potential jurors? Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's what voir dire is for. Did you watch the interview? You can. It's not like the jury is seated.
Okay, all right. So it's still fair play. Because I I thought somehow Lucy is her name. I thought Lucy was going to try to challenge her again to be like, hey, now you're trying to sway the jury pool for the jury pool even gets arraigned or whatever. And then that may be an issue. But Joe, like
you can. I'm like the statements can be used against her. Like you can bring in the interview into court, but to get the interview into court, you would have to get the interviewer to testify in order to bring that evidence in.
Okay.
So that's like rules of evidence and stuff. I don't really. This show is not going to go into that type of level of detail.
Well, so because even as I was saying, even with the trial, I was like, what's the point of this interview? But again, like you said, ultimately, he was trying to gain sympathy in the public, for Chanel when they actually do start jury selection. But again, Jax once again inserts herself as second chair into Corey's like defensive strategy, and I'm like, walk away from this. I'm like, last time I checked, I'm in charge of this case. If I'm not, I'm getting the fuck out. Give me my money and I'm gone. But I'm not.
Last week, y'all was complaining about Lewis. Oh, he wants a wife that
sits at home.
Huh?
Sits at home. I say it again.
Yeah, and I'm like, she's going out of her way not to be at home. Like, she's second chair. You don't even need to be there. Like,
but I think she does. I think she doesn't want to be home. That's one. And then two, she wants. But the problem is Jax can't. She can't let Corey control the situation.
Yeah,
that's her problem. She has to be in control in some fashion or form, and that's her problem.
She needs to control her breathing first.
Yo, I'm tired. I'm really, really tired of these fucking panic attacks. I'm like, this is Chanel's turn. This is Chanel's problem. But it's like, oh my God, I heard my friend get abused. Girl, you spent at least 10 years, supposedly being systematically, physically, and mentally abused by your husband, and somehow we didn't know. But I spent about 4 or 5 hours being held hostage, watching my lover kill himself, and I completely understand what you went through, girl. And I'm trying to deal with my stress. Bitch, this is about me. Like, I'm in jail right now. Can we focus on me? Like, I just feel like Jax is making a lot of this about her, and it's really getting on my nerves.
But it's not. That's not okay. Anxiety is not. It's not about the person. When you have anxiety, when something traumatic happens to you, and you are, and then it's something like she has feelings for her best friend, right? Her best friend is going through a lot. She has anxiety right now that she's trying to. You have to learn to control it. So when things come to you that upset you, you start to hyperventilate. You start to be like, because you can't handle it. And it's, even though it's not her issue that she's trying to handle, it's still affecting her as the girl's friend. That's
from a story perspective. Forget all that. If she has this medication, can she hurry up and get addicted to the pills already? Because that's where it seems like.
That's another thing too. The medication doesn't all of a sudden kick in. It takes at least 2 months for anxiety medicine to actually work.
I need the medicine to take a kick in effect because I'm tired of this shit. Like I'm like Chanel is in real danger. Like we need to focus on that. Like I don't need her like every fucking episode. We get it. Then sit your butt down and go home and help Lewis be a parent because I'm tired. Every time
they showed your boy, the son.
Oh, Spencer! Fuck Spencer!
No, I didn't know. I don't know what you guys talked about before I got here, but when I told you guys last week, this is an after-school special. Every time, was this not an after-school special?
Jamani, this is who's the parent? Spencer's the parent. Like Spencer's teaching us now. He was like, "Dad, you're the problem. That's why I whooped that kid's ass because you said you may want me to play basketball, not be in Hamilton." I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry. I tried to love you like I love my gay brother. I'm sorry, son. If you like to suck dick, that's okay. I'll still love you. And he was like, "Dad, that's not what I do. That's not what I'm saying." Are you sure, son? It's okay. I mean, one time in college, you know, it's all right. I mean, I was like, what are we? Every time this man has to do anything that resembles parenting, he has to smoke weed. He has to drink alcohol. Jax has to come home and rub his back and tell him everything's going to be all right. He needs to die next episode. I do not need this man. Then, again, black fathers, right? At least he's in the family, right? What does he tell his son? Hey, son, you know, niggas fight. That's what we do. But when your mama gets home, she's gonna parent you. I'm just here to get you home. But when your mama gets home, she's gonna take care of this. What is your bitch ass here? Why are you here? Like,
and so this is why I always say I don't like weak men. Thank you. This is why he's a weak man. If he was my man, we would get a divorce because he is weak, and I don't like that. It should be the other way around. It should be wait until your mama gets home because we're both gonna jump on you, talk to you about what's going on, or what about if you're because I remember that my mother used to say all the time, wait till your dad gets home. Right. Wait till your dad gets home. I use the same thing with my kids. I used to be like, when your daddy gets here, you know, you're gonna have to tell him what you did, right? But no, if we want to be fair about it, right? Wait till your mother gets home so we both can get on you and talk about this. No, this punk is like your mama. She gonna get you. I'm like, oh my god.
I'm a fist bump you, son. But
I think Morris Chestnut needs to make some more stops over to the house because that's when he really starts pushing out his chest. Like Lewis can't be a man unless he's competing against another man.
You know what, Jamal? I think you're also correct. But to Ken's point though, right? Mature parenting would have been your mom and I are going to talk about this. And then we will talk and figure out what we're gonna do about you. Why did you fight? That kind of thing, and then work it out. But to be like, yeah, bro. But anyway, your mama. And then, by the way, that never happened. Just for the record, all that bullshit. Jax never came home and was like, "What? Our son got into a fight, and like we're gonna deal with this, right?" So I was like, "This, Jamani." I was like, "This after-school special bullshit needs to stop immediately." And I'm like, and it's like they can only handle one child an episode. Where's the daughter right now? Right. Also, notice how Spencer can sit in the front seat, and that's not a conversation. Oh, you old enough to sit in the big boy seat? That's right, Daddy. That's right. Because I got earrings and hair in my balls. I can't figure out where the aspirin is at, but I can sit in the front seat though. I was like, what? Yo, nigga, yo, I fought that nigga, yo, and I told him I ain't no gay stuff, yo. Click. I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, then. Why are we watching black parents refer to their children as niggas? Why? How is this fucking helpful to anyone? You know this nigga.
But that's never changed. That has been happening since the very beginning. I don't understand it. And I don't remember as a parent, I still to this day with two grown men do not call them anything that starts with an N. Like maybe needs or necessary, but never that, ninja. Why?
Like to be like that. You know that nigga. I don't know what he's gonna do with his life.
But they say that it's a term of endearment, but in these type of situations, it's never like, yeah, my son, yeah, my nigga, whatever. It's always, yeah, you little nigga. Like it's always in anger, so it can't be a term of necessary.
I like you, Jim.
No, it's an unnecessary thing to do. It's like for me, in my opinion,
of how nigga was used.
But in my opinion, for me, it borders on the same thing as cursing at your kids unnecessarily. Like I don't feel comfortable. I had a very close friend who constantly cursed at her kids, and I was like, you couldn't have said what you said without all of those those adjectives in it. You couldn't have said something different. Like to me, it's insulting to curse at your kids. Why are you doing that? Because this is what we do. We teach our kids that those words are offensive and they should not use them. But then we use them to talk to them. It's like you can't have it both ways. So when she's saying ninja, thank God she's not actually saying it to her kids, right? In their face. But she still should be showing them some type of respect when she's talking to their father, right? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, for me, it's just offensive. I don't like it. I think they need to take it off the show because it's not necessary.
It's not, and it don't. We said this. I've said that we said like it don't make these characters more black. Like
No.
again, these writers are like, this is how we talk. So we gotta show what being black means.
I don't necessarily think it's about being black. I just think it's
is.
about being of a younger generation.
It's black. Because like I mean all generations has used the word nigga. Like that's not a generational issue.
Ghetto. That's what it is.
And it's like, but they're like, we don't see that in those other white written shows. Only on this show are we gonna be real. And I believe, I mean that's what they're trying. And I'm like, it's just ignorance. Hey guys, I like this episode because the flashbacks were necessary about JT. And how Chanel met. Yeah. And how JT was actually murdered. Flashbacks were good. I'm just saying weren't accurate to season 1. And they weren't. I mean, they made up a whole new backstory for these two characters. What's up, Jamai?
I don't know exactly what you guys got into, but I watched this episode. Well, Thursday feels like 2 weeks ago to me. Like, when I watched this episode, at the beginning, all I saw was like a big mushroom cloud of flames and explosions, because I was like, oh, all the stuff we were pontificating in the past 2 weeks has just gone up in flames and smoke, because she's bashing his head in.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah,
and I'm like, and then the opening credits start, and I was like, oh yeah, I knew I shouldn't have been giving any brain power to this show. And then they go at the, you get 50 minutes into the show at the end and find out, what was that, a dream or something? Like,
we were saying that she was dreaming what she wished happened as opposed to what did happen. Like she wished she would have saved herself instead of someone coming in to save her. I think. Okay. Do you guys actually think that Adrian, aka Barry, killed JT, or do you think it was Sally? So yeah, Dominique, we were Kim and I were discussing that before Giovanni rolled up. Yeah, we think proper writing would be Sally, or worse comes to worse, the oldest child, but probably Sally, and then that's why it took 2 hours. That we think I would submit that maybe Adrian assisted in the cover up, which again why it took 2 hours, but he was somehow involved because Chanel feels some type of like she owes him something, some kind of, for some reason. So, but right now I think Jax is thinking Adrian did it, but that would be too obvious this early in the season if that was really the case. But yeah, we do think Sally was probably more the plot twist.
But all right, so like I like this new I guess white boy gangster. I don't even know his name. But
the manager.
The business manager. The probably gay one, as Kim pointed out. But it's okay. What's up?
Yeah, I like his what do you call it, villainousness.
He needs more bass in his voice though. The gun just don't go with the voice. I'm sorry. He's like, okay, you may owe me some money, and you may have to pay me. So here's the weapon. And I was like, what the fuck are you talking like this for? I don't know.
I've heard what do you call it? Al Capone had somewhat of a high voice. So I'm like,
I'm saying, but it don't strike fear. Like that's what I mean.
It was, his wrist was very loose, and I was
like, let this shit go. She said he was like, there's one way you could pay me. I mean, I'm just saying we got options, and he was like, okay, I'll give you the money. I don't want to do that. It's like, again. I was like,
but no, why does he? And we were also talking about Jemani. Why does he owe him $30,000? It's not like $3,000. It's $3 million.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
$30 million. Like, why does Adrian owe him that?
Like, what investments were they doing that he lost $30 million?
Right, right.
I don't know, but I'm like that money that I guess is in Chantel's account or whatever.
Yeah, Chanel's account.
That was put there, and it's not really supposed to be hers. That's why she doesn't know anything about it or has nothing to do with it. So I guess we'll see how that unravels, or how Daniel digging through garbage will uncover stuff.
he's taking Huck to a whole new level. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I would say Huck was, dare I say, more realistic. But I mean, but the man doing too much. Like, unless he worked for B613, I don't know how Daniel got all these skills that he's everything. And Crystal wasn't even in this episode, which actually probably was a good thing. But anyway, also let's go back to Tony. So Tony was the mother of the friend that Lewis had sex with in episode 7.
Yes,
Episode
the
7.
little skinny girl. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, when he was sitting on the couch and he was with Jax, I was like, wait a minute. It clicked for me. I said, she's pregnant. And he's thinking, was it from them or was it actually JT? I was like, oh, okay. Now it's getting a little spicy.
So my problem with it, again, I go back and I watch the episode because I was like, I remember when they were fucking, and I was like, so it was episode 7. Okay, so JT had a threesome at his house with Tony and another woman. The thing is, he was sticking the other woman, and that woman was licking Tony. So he wasn't even actually in Tony in this episode. You know what I'm saying?
That's in the moment that Lewis walked in. So.
Yes. My point is, fast forward to the end of the episode when Lewis is in fact having sex with Tony. She has not one but 2 condoms next to her. So I'm like, they use protection. So I'm like, if she ends up pregnant by Tony, I would be like, if Tony ends up being pregnant by Lewis, how are we gonna tie this together?
But David, just because you saw 2 condoms, just because you saw that, my older son is a condom baby. So anywho, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
I'm just saying from a writing perspective, like if you're going to be like, this is going to be something, of all the times I've said this plenty of times, where's the protection, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't make an effort of being like, you want to put this on your dick, and then like be like, oh my, and then again, you don't even show penetration between Tony and the maybe daddy, right? It's just, why are you pulling at this string? Why is it like it? Because
the reason why they're pulling at this string is because Lewis is like always so perfect, right? Jackson is the problem. She doesn't really want to be the wife. He's a perfect husband. He takes care of the kids, you know, all of this, right? No. And but that's not actually the truth. I mean, he did his little thing with Tony. He kind of sort of told Jax about it, but didn't really tell her about it. And so they have to bring this to the forefront for it to be drama. Like, Lewis is going to have drama now. And I have no problem with it.
Right behind you is the man why, right?
Yeah, that's why.
We need to have Lewis in the doghouse.
That's it.
So that he can ease right on it.
That's it. That's
all right,
it.
so this is how that's it. I think Kim and I were talking about the nigga moment that was unnecessary when Jax, figured, like, she turned to Effie in this episode and she was like, oh, you must have been fucking Tony, Tanya, nigga. And I'm like, why is he a nigga? Like, this, what does that have to do with you? And I'm like, so when she does give up the draws, like, she's gonna look real stupid. But like, to your point, outside baby for Lewis and Jax. Yeah. So if Tony, again, writing, Tony should have still been fucking Lewis this season. So we could be like, oh, like, there's still a thing, right? Like, again, I don't know what's like now. Like you said, now Lewis is the one in the relationship, not relationship. Like, are we going somewhere where I'm trying to get back my wife, or we're cuddling? And so you understand how this could be a thing. But then that is the mother of one of their children's friends. And you mean you never see this woman at PTA? You never see this woman that she's pregnant? Like, you don't go, oh, girl, this is the first time you're hearing about this?
We've established that he doesn't even know what seat his daughter sits in, and he's gonna know if a child's friend's mother is pregnant.
If you happen to be sticking her at some point, you would think that there's still a phone call every once in a while. But the condom.
No, I'm trying to work out stuff with my wife. I'm not making random phone calls to her.
but I want for this to be something. We need to see Tony come back and like now Lewis is like, hey girl. So again, even from Tony's perspective, she was like, this needs to be JT's baby because that's far more lucrative.
Definitely. For sure.
So we need to get into this if this is gonna be a thing. Like you said, this somehow Tony reveals that Jax finds out that it was actually Lewis.
I beg to differ.
What's up?
What?
You think that because I'm like, this money, JT is supposed to be broke, right? And this money that got, switched around, was like money laundering or embezzlement or whatever it was. It wasn't really JT's money. But they made a point of talking about Lewis's game launch and him having the Zoom meeting for the rollout and all this stuff. So it seems like Lewis is probably going to be the one rolling in dough more than likely.
Eventually, I think he will. But still, they're gonna bring Tony back because it's gonna be drama with Tony and Lewis. Like it has to be. That's why they ended this episode the way they did. Because Lewis's face, he was like just kind of freaked out. Like
I need to check it. I was like,
I'm in agreement. I'm saying, they're gonna bring her back, and they're gonna be. The issue is gonna be, I thought JT had money, but you were the one that really has.
That actually has the money,
or the one who's actually alive. And so again, so she did get a check from JT to get rid of the baby. She did not get rid of the baby, and like she said, she's staying at home. So last time we heard from her, she wasn't even working really. So now she's like a stay-at-home mom to an extent. So make sure, like to your point, Jamani, she needs some more money, and she's gonna be like, "Who's my new baby daddy?" And that's Lewis. And then to Dominique's point, Jax is gonna find out about the affair and outside baby, and then she's gonna sleep with Corey.
Absolutely.
And then maybe Tanya gets involved. Maybe she's like, "Hey, let's just try to make all this up. Let's see where this goes." I
can tell you this.
What?
I was like,
I can tell you this secondhand, not firsthand, because I don't, right? But secondhand, I've heard some stories about like paternity issues, and then you taking the person to court, but one of the parties is dating a lawyer. It don't matter how good the case of the person who's not with the lawyers. If you're in a relationship with a lawyer, you're guaranteed to win. So Lewis can like, he's whatever Tony's trying to do, it's not gonna work. His wife is a lawyer.
Well, real quick, let's remember what kind of lawyer Jax is, because they seem to have forgotten that she's like a celebrity lawyer. Like she couldn't even handle the criminal case she was doing. The white dude had to handle it because that's not the kind of law she did. Now all of a sudden she does domestic violence law, she can do criminal law, and I'm like, they totally forgot her backstory in the original season. Like, and I'm like, when are we going to be like, let's get back to what the show was supposed to be? Like, since you're supposed to see some kind of Ray Donovan type lawyer or some shit, and then like that just went away, and again, now she's gonna be criminal cases from now on. And I'm like, all right, so she's tagging along, trying to be second chair. You were out on leave, you came back, you don't have a caseload? Like, you're big time, but have no clients. No one needs you. And that's what I'm saying. What happened to all the NFL, NBA players that said, "Oh my God, I think I got a girl pregnant. Her name is Tony. What? Let's look into this." And it's like, "Oh yeah, never mind. My husband that's actually my husband's baby. Don't worry about it. We're gonna take care of this case for you." Like,
no, isn't that what she did the first episode when she was in church? And then she handled that case. Yeah. So I'm like,
that was Ray Donovan, like season 1. Like I think like episode 1 or 2. Like it was like this. I was like, again, that could have been a series if done properly. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't, bruh. They've rewritten these characters so much. It's like this should have been season 1, and it would have been better. And because season 1 is actually confusing season 2. And I'm like, I'm sorry. I thought this was a continuation in many ways.
Season 1 is confusing to season 1.
But I think what they're trying to do, and a lot of shows do this, is like if season one obviously did well, right? Because that's why they got a season 2. But I think that maybe somebody looked at the story and said, well, we need to make this maybe change a couple of things to enhance it even more. And that's what we're seeing in season 2. So it's kind of like Force, right? When we first saw Force, we were not happy with that first season. We were kind of like, what the hell is this, right? And then they came back with a second season and they changed a lot of stuff. And we were kind of like, well, what is this, right? And because they're constantly trying to make it a better story. What they're doing is they're making it worse. Yeah. And so now it's going to end, right? We're not going to have this show anymore, unfortunately. But I mean, that show doesn't need to go on for a long time anyway. But I'm just saying, but for this show, I think that's what they did. And so they just keep trying to revamp it. And I don't know, are they gonna get a season 3 so that they revamp it again? I mean,
one more time. I don't know. So I think this was the first drama of Onyx as a
I believe so too. Yeah.
So and again, the cast is good. Like it's not it's more of a writing issue. Like I think for us, like the casting good, like the production value is good, the idea is good. It's just like, what are you trying to achieve? With this stuff, it just gets muddied. After a while. And then the family stuff, like we said, it's like it becomes so distracting that it's like I don't give a fuck. Like Lewis's whole "I'm trying to be Mr. Mom" thing. It's like. Even that is actually gender biased. The whole title, Mr. Mom, but that was the 80s. But it's like what is happening with any of this? And again, also what happened to Jax's dad not being in her life and how that was destroying her and how that was one of the major issues between her and really Lewis, really. About having a man in her life and that sort of thing. Like that just went away, and we haven't got back to that since Mom was only in the first episode.
I'm like the issue was. You can't see the kids because this guy is in the house. This guy is dead. Now Mom is all the way gone. I'm like, that makes no sense, as we were saying, compared to the first season. Because I'm like, that would really ease up the pressure off of Lewis if Grandma was to come in and take the kids or be doing something. But
that's a good point. Like you think Grandma will be helping out, and then it's like, oh, Lewis can and actually takes the pressure off Jax. Because Lewis is like, that's your job, mama. You know what I'm saying? But Grandma could be like, I can do some parenting so Lewis can stop smoking weed and play games.
Well, remember, Jax pushes her mom away all the time. Remember? Because even this season in the beginning, we saw the mom. She was on the phone, right? And she was trying to talk to Jax, and Jax was kind of like, I don't want to talk to you. You know what I mean?
That because she was being like airheaded about the whole like, well, I heard your girl was getting her ass whooped. Like it was a little bit different, but like as John Monty pointed out, last season was really about the stepfather. Like I can't abide by you if you're gonna deal with this molester, right? So like I said, with him off the table, you would think Mom would be more around. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she can let the daughter sit in the front seat, and then we can figure that out. Like I don't even know. But again, I want to see the daughter come back and have some more issues. Since again they're gonna switch the kids out. One episode a child. What's going on, Jamal?
I know that somebody left a comment about the flashbacks, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I watched this episode, I was like, how are they making domestic? They're like almost justifying it. Like, you know how like Chris Rock is like, yeah, I won't hit her, but I'll shake her or whatever. Like, like there's just certain things where it's just like how we were talking about the other week. When Sally, just all of a sudden put up the house or whatever. Yeah, that's, that might be a reason for domestic violence. I'm like, how do you take JT being paranoid and then make the suspicions accurate?
So, thank you. So, Jamal, that's my point. We were talking about this before you showed up, though, that we're like, the flashbacks weren't selling the story, right? Like it wasn't until the last scene when he was trying to kill her, right? That I was like, this is bad, right? But that's what the same thing you're saying. It was about the party, right? It's like the question was, how did his abuse change you? And they showed it the cover, right? Of like them happy on the cover. Was this a lie? And then they go to the party. and then like she's fucking like Adrian at the party. I'm like, so he was right. Like he was like, you're about to. So it's like, no, stop showing her getting dick down and focus on the abuse. So we can be like, she's a victim. Like show how she got the bruises. Because I had to watch the show on big screen so I could see the bruises in the first place when she's laying in the bed. I was like, she got beat up at some point. Okay. And then it's like the aftermath. I'm like, that's what you show. Show that he's out of control. Show that he doesn't make sense. Don't be like, well, no, she is fucking around on him. I'm like, that's not what?
I'm like, there's just too much going on. He's beating her up. She has to relieve his pain, but yet she's fucking around on him. I'm like, when you see the scene where, she's about to walk out and everything, they showed it twice. And one time it was like him, the last time it was like him flipping out. But the other time it was like, why are you just all of a sudden trying to leave and trying to take the kids? It's just like, it's one thing if you want to leave or, get with this other guy. But the issue was she saying she wanted to take the kids away from him. That's when he like really flipped out.
Well, so that's probably how it really did happen. But again, this is supposed to be an escalation of violence. Like it's supposed to be like it was words, it was pushing, it led to physical abuse, and then it led to him trying to kill her. Right? Like there is an escalation of violence, but they don't show you that enough to me to be like, oh, okay, I can see why she's like, this is it. Like the bruises when she took the photos, Kim and I were talking about this. Like the photos keep on coming up. Sally took these photos of all these bruises from her, like top to bottom. When did that happen and why did that happen? And if they would have showed us in this episode, that would have made sense. Like when I saw that warning label, I was like, oh, they're about to do some real shit. I was like, oh, okay. And then like I was like, where is it? Like I was like, until you get to the end, until you get to the very end. And I was like, oh, okay.
I thought the at the beginning where she's bashing him in the head, I thought, oh, they got right to it.
So I was like, so
but that's part, but that's part of it too. Like it doesn't really matter in what part of the show that they show the abuse. They have to put a disclaimer on it.
Yeah, I'm not saying anything about that. I'm just saying after seeing the disclaimer, when I thought the abuse was happening, I thought, the abuse.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, that's.
Oh no! I know.
They really stretched out that honeymooning period, like him meeting her on the photo shoot, him, asking her to marry him. It was like this whole long, them being in bed and her telling him, "I thought I was fat when I was a kid," and like they stretched that out real long, and then they just sped up the abuse.
So
because the show is only an hour long, so you cannot just keep it going and going and going and going. And there's
I'm saying that they spent more time on the honeymoon period and shortchanged the
escalation. That's part of the escalation. When you're in an abusive relationship, it starts out wonderful, and then it changes. And that's what they were trying to show, that it was changing. It was subtle changes, but it was changes, and she noticed it, and then at the end of the episode, you saw that this is the end result of those changes. So escalations were shown in here. There was only one time that they probably should have shown it, was when she was in the bed. She had the bruise on her face. This was after the wedding. They didn't show that part, right? They should have showed him beating her up, and then him actually wanting her to stay and take care of me, even though you just whooped my ass after the wedding or before the wedding. I mean, after the wedding. So that part they didn't show, but they did show escalation. So
but the problem with the escalation is that it correlates to her cheating. So it's like, it's one thing if she started cheating because he was beating her ass, but it seems like he started really beating her ass once she started cheating. So it really doesn't show. I don't know, like what came first.
Well, the abuse came first. The abuse came first. It's just like, anyway, like I said, when they decided to show certain things, that's the point. Like they showed the affair again, not when it started, because at that point it's already been going, And it's anyway. We just gotta see how much they flush this shit out. I mean, I don't think they're gonna get more into this. I think it's gonna be more about who killed him and how and when and that kind of stuff. And then we're gonna get more to that. Season 3 will be a combination of paternity and divorce court. I love
probably.
So I'm just like I need Lewis to go. I just need Lewis to go or
to die off.
I like something. It gets crazy, right? Like I just maybe the season finale is Jax killing him when he goes, "Okay, I fucked Tony." You mother! And it's like,
I don't honestly.
I was season 0, like when he was out of the house before the start of season 1.
Yeah.
Let's start from when he moved out.
I like this. He's not helpful. He is not helpful. He is confused to his own children. And again, every time he's like, whoa, he is exhausted after being a parent. He's like, shit, I had to talk to my kids and help them go to Hamilton and football practice or some shit. Woo, baby, tell me I'm a good parent. And she's like, ew, you so good. You take care of your kids. And she's like, that's right.
No, who was crazy to me was he was like, I worked with him. I was playing basketball with him all summer. And now it's all going to go to waste.
I was like, what? It's like
but isn't that the mindset of a lot of Black parents that if my son can play basketball, then we may get rich. That is so ignorant to me.
I don't think that's exclusive to Blacks. I just think that's just
to the point of like a lot of what we see often. Again, it's like when in a more like poorer family, like I said, was like again like this is our ticket or his ticket, like get to college, but it's like. That's not even the situation with
But that's the way they're making it sound. That is exactly how they're making it sound.
Or again, maybe he's a tall man. It should have been I played basketball. I could have been to the NBA. I thought my son, like if they would have developed this relationship better, to be like, like I think my son is gonna make it. Like he's gonna live my dream or something. Like I'm living my NBA like dreams through him. And then like no, now he wants to be an actor. Like that would be something. And like let's see the hand.
No, it's exactly what you said, which is he's saying I put in time. I invested time in my son, and I want to get paid back or have some sort of something come back at the end for that. And that just was all that was just me spending time with him. Like, no, there's no return on that investment, and he's upset about it.
Well, maybe he could help him with rehearse, like maybe for Hamilton. Oh, also product placement, Jamani. Before we wrap this up, because we gotta get to fight night. I thought about you when I saw the Apple play when he was like, "Oh, what song are we gonna listen to?" Apple's behind this somewhere. Like this is twice. This is twice like Apple products specifically highlighted. So there is product placement. I would have to agree that was a bit obvious.
It's a Hulu show. Hulu show is loaded with product placement. A lot of shows on Hulu are like that.
But it's not like Mac. It's not like Mac and PC. Like it's very Mac. Like two episodes back to back. Like Mac products are highlighted. So that's what I'm saying. So like the Apple, because I got it, and I do love it. So I was like, it was interesting. I was like, I think there's gonna be more Apple examples. I would say Lewis is just a needy, whiny ass man. He just needs.
Thank you. I feel the same way. I totally agree. Yeah. And it's annoying. It's so annoying.
We will see how.
Acts like being a parent is hard, right? And he acts like, oh my God, like I need a drink. It's like, dude, women do this every single day by themselves, right? And you're doing it, and you're married to a beautiful woman, and you have a shared, you're sharing this experience with with your wife. And so why is it so hard? Like, calm down. He's just a wuss, and it's annoying. I'm hoping his son calls him out one day. Like, Dad, stop being a wuss.
He's gonna do better with Tony's son. He's gonna be like, you know what? This is the one. I'm gonna raise him on my own because Tony's out there just fucking having threesomes and everything. I'm gonna have to be the dad. You know what? It's gonna be like fences. It's gonna be like fences. Tony's gonna be like, your turn. He's like, hey, baby. Let's take care of our child. I mean, my child. Can we do this, please?
Is somebody gonna have a snotty nose too?
That's right. I was like, hey, you know how Viola Davis does it. Viola, she knows how to bring them snare. That's Juilliard right there. She's
yes, like, the snots, man. Oh my gosh, her sinuses are always clear.
Always. I'm like, dude, how do you do it, girl? I was like, that's how I got that Oscar.
Yeah.
I was like, damn it.
Yeah.
Anyway, last comment. We as mothers never whine and complain.
We
Yeah,
can't.
we would
We
never.
can't. We just got to keep moving. We
We
just
don't
got to
got to.
keep doing
Y'all
it.
got to keep moving because your kids ain't trying to hear that shit.
No.
But anyway, like I said, Lewis is supposed to be an example of black fathers in America. Kill this character.
Yeah,
Like,
please, just get rid of
not
him.
it. This is not it. I like
Not
put this
it.
man in prison or somewhere else and just let him be a statistic because I don't need this shit. I like it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing.
If they would have made him a statistic, you would have been mad.
I was mad, but if this
in
would be the alternative, though, if this would have been the alternative, I would like put his ass in prison. Like I would have accepted it. I was like, okay, Jackson's dad makes more sense. He just ain't there. You know what I'm saying? Because where else the black daddy's gonna be around?
No,
but
Lewis was coming over to his friend's house, and he saw what was happening, and he's the one who killed JT, and now he's gonna have to go to jail.
So, Lewis did it. Lewis, you know what, Jamani? Let's put this together. Maybe he was like, "Hey, JT, I just want to let you know I'm sleeping with Tony too." She sent them both paternity things, and he's like, "Hey," he went over to confront JT about it, and was like, "Yo, bro, did you get a letter too? Because I remember that threesome." And then he had to kill JT to save Chanel. That's what happened. So like Chanel's about to go to jail for Lewis for some reason. Anyway,
is Jax gonna be Lewis's attorney for the paternity suit that's coming?
That's what I'm saying. That's what Jamani said. That would be hilarious. It's like, baby,
I bet
come on.
They do it. I bet you they do it.
It won't me. It wasn't me. I mean, it was me, but it wasn't me. Somehow she got him on camera too. Anyway. Maybe hearing the fact that he had an affair got Jax all hot and bothered. So she may be like, "What? Bring her over. We can work this out." A threesome needs to happen. Also, unnecessary. When JT showed Chanel the titties on his phone, unnecessary. I was like, I don't need to see this shit. I don't know why they even did this.
That was him just being an asshole. That was him being an asshole towards her. That was me.
We don't need to see, like, I didn't need to see the random titties. That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, he could have shown.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Of all the stuff we did, we're like, "Oh, look, ooh, boobies." I'm like, whose boobies? Why is this necessary? What are we doing? Anyway, come on. We gotta get to Kevin Hart. Giovanni, any final words?
This whole Corey, we didn't even hear about his old client this episode. So I'm like, is it really that important?
This is Chanel's episode. This was supposed to be the backstory and the origin story of their relationship. So we're gonna get back to that client. We're gonna get back to Lucy's also domestic situation. I'm sure she had her own situation with the guy who's locked up in Nevada or whatever. So they will get back to that. But this is Chanel's moment, and I think.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. I'm gonna be watching. But I'm not gonna be doing any predictions because this doesn't make any sense. Like, subscribe, comment. See you in about 5 minutes.
Thank you, Jamani. I appreciate you. Boop. All right, Kim. What you got for us, please?
No, I'm hoping Sally comes back because I really, I'm hoping that Sally is the one who actually saved her, because it would make more sense to me, because Sally was like, basically, she was leaving him, and this is why this happened, right? Because that's what she basically told her husband, right? So it would make more sense. But it does also make sense that JT helped them to cover this up, right? But
Adrian helped.
Huh?
Adrian.
Why am I keep saying JT? I'm sorry. JT's the victim. No,
JT's the victim.
I can't even call him a victim. He is the guy who's dead.
Yes.
He's an abuser. I'm not going to call him a victim.
Yes.
Anyway, so anywho, guys, thank you so much for joining the chat. We really appreciate you joining the conversation. We are trying to get to 500 views per video, so we need you to share the video with anyone and everyone. We also are trying to get to 2,500 subscribers by December 15th. So in order for us to reach that goal, we need you to share the video. Also, we need you to hit the notification bell so you know when the next video is coming. And so, again, thank you so much. We really appreciate you joining the conversation. And we should be back in about 5 minutes with some Kevin Hart. Hey. Bye.
Thanks, Kim. All right, and please move to the next room. All right, guys, thank you guys for hanging out with us. As Kim said, we do this for you, and we thank you for hanging out with us on Sunday and all during the week. And yeah, we'll see where the show goes. We are committed to this show as they are committed to Jay-Z. And we will maybe he'll make an appearance. Maybe. or maybe Beyonce. Neither one of those is happening, but I'm just hoping. As she had her own cheating husband issues. But anyway, I'll see y'all in a little bit.
I will say thank you guys very much for hanging out with us. I see people watching, people in the chat.
I enjoy The View very much. I don't know what the fuck I was watching.
Rewatch this when we're done. Rewatch this. You'll see what we're talking about. You're gonna be like, oh shit.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
You want to go ahead?
Stacey, do your thing.
Fuck that shit.
But anyway, please like and share and comment on the video and all that kinds of stuff. As they say, we're just going to end this broadcast and say bye.